You should go now. Run. No, I won't leave you here. We can run together. Listen, if we run together, they will shoot us from behind. We both die. So, how's about you here? They will kill you. No, don't worry about me. I will help them. I want you to promise me to survive, to take this message for our country.
guys, welcome to the weekly fighting game conversations where we talk about fighting games and all things fighting games related. I'm your host, X, and today is June 27, 2020. This podcast is free, but we only ask for your support in our fight against COVID-19 by donating to the Association of Philippine Medical Colleges. Check out how to do that in the comments below. So for today, we have Ben Banta. He is the CEO and studio head of Ranida Games. And Ranida Games is the indie game development company which developed the award-winning Filipino-inspired fighting game, Bayani. So, hi Ben, welcome to the Weekly FGC.
Hey guys, I'm happy to be here and thank you for inviting me. It's been one hell of a week, and right now we're here just chilling. So thanks.
One hell of a week. What have you been up to during this past week?
Work. Yeah, lots of work. So because we're not only working on Bayani, so it's not the only project that we have. So we have several games that we are also working on. So yeah, so there's a lot of things that the team are working on right now, and yeah, it's pretty intense. Yeah.
That's nice. That's cool. The other games. Okay, so we'll get into that later, I guess. But so for now, before we get into Ranida Games and Bayani, we want to learn about the man behind the company and the game. So how did it start? How did you find Ranida Games?
Actually, I was not actually into the game development business before. So I graduated as an IT, and then I worked as a web developer for a few years, and then it was like 2007 when I was playing in Flash games. That era before, where the web games, Flash games is uso pa. So I was playing a sniping game online, and I played it, and then I finished the whole game, and then I was looking for a sequel, but I can't find a sequel, so I decided to try and make one myself. So that's how it started. Actually, the first game that I made actually is really really bad, but it was I made the game like for 3 days, only with 6 levels, and but what happened is that I published it online. Like, I created my own website and published the game online, and it was picked by a publisher in the US called Addicting Games, and it was under Viacom at that time, and I was contacted, and they told me that they wanted to publish the game on their website. So and they are going to pay me for that. So for me, like, okay, nothing to lose, because I did the game for 3 days, and I really don't believe in the game actually, and I don't have any idea that there's a business that I can make I can make money from it. So I don't have any what do you call this? Any knowledge in terms of game development. My knowledge is more on the web development. So after they picked up the game, it got played like I think it got 1 million gameplays in like 24 hours. And so, wow, okay, what happened? So apparently, Addicting Games is a really huge publisher. The umbrella under the company umbrella that they are from are like with the Nickelodeon franchise. So I was really surprised, and actually that propelled me. That started everything. So when the first payment come in, which is bigger than my monthly salary, I started doing it as a career, making web games. So it's not Arena Games before. It was Ultimate Flash game, and then I created a local company called Gonzo Games with a partner in the US, which was closed because Flash game died during the era of mobile game development. So when my first company died, well, not died, was closed. Uh, I together with my what do you call this, bayaw ko, yeah. We established Ranida Games together with the some of the members of my old company of Gonzo Games. So Gonzo Games before are more doing we are targeting foreign audiences, foreign market. So for Ranida Games, when we started it, we decided to let's target local for this time. So our first game when I established Ranida Game is PBA, Philippine Slam on mobile, and it was basically a success. It became a successful game for us. We got 1 million downloads in the Play Store and App Store like in a month's time, and continuously it is one of the games that we are supporting right now. So that's basically how it started, like from 2007 and until now. All I do is basically more into is related into game development.
That's very interesting. But like other than the PBA Slam and obviously Bayani, what other games that you're currently developing or are already out or made by Ranida
Well,
Games?
we did we did a game for one of the games that we did is Chip Bato with Bato de la Rosa, but it was pulled. We decided to pull it out because of the it became political. So we decided to pull it out. So most of the games that we did for the Philippines are more based on the current trends. So we have Pak Pak Ganern, we have the Aldab something game, a game like that. So but in terms of the biggest game that we have, it would be the PBA and Bayani, and also right now we are also working on a game for Manny Pacquiao. Well, not for Manny Pacquiao. Based on the life story of Manny Pacquiao, we managed to what do you call this? Obtain the IP for his life story to be created into a game. So that's one of the projects that we are working on.
If you don't mind asking this one question, regards to that game specifically for Manny Pacquiao's life story, what is the genre for that game that you guys are making?
Most of the game are that Manny Pacquiao is boxing, right? So for our game, it still has boxing, but most the gameplay is mainly beat 'em up.
Ooh, a beat 'em up style.
Yeah. So so the gameplay is like Double Dragon, something like that, where you follow his story from he was when Manny Pacquiao is a child. It's in Sarangani, and then and you follow his story as Manny Pacquiao grows up. So all the adventures that are translated as a beaten up gameplay into the game. So the enemies, but because Manny Pacquiao is closely working with us in the story of the game, so he are suggesting things that he wanted to put in the game and stuff like that. And one of the key feature that we have in the game are the enemies. All the enemies are based on social ills that he has encountered. Yeah, so poverty, crab mentality, things like that, bullies. So those things are what inspired the enemies that are in the game. So currently we're around I think 40% into the development. It's still very still early into the development.
For 40%, that's already like really halfway there. I want to say I can't wait to see like what you guys come up with regarding the Manny Pacquiao game. I actually want to see it. And based on what you're talking about, since you have to work closely with Manny Pacquiao, and you have to deal with all the other things as a CEO of a company, like how is that? How does it feel to be the CEO of like Ranida Games?
It's
Like what are like the highlights of the challenges?
yeah, well, being a CEO of a company, well, for me, for our company, it's like um, it's bittersweet, to be honest. So since Renee the Games is not we're not rich, so just as we are comfortable. So I'm not the CEO who's like. Mm. I'm not like that. So pretty much the only I guess in terms of challenges, what I can differentiate from being a CEO and from being an employee is that being a CEO is harder because you don't only think of don't only think of yourself. Like for example, I'm an employee. I will be given a task. I do my best to complete that task, and I get paid, right? So for as a CEO, the tasks are given. That all the tasks are there, and I manage all of them. And not only do I have to think about myself, I have to think about the about my employees, about the company. So if you want if you want to do let's say you want to go on a vacation, like it's if you want to have a vacation, let's say, for example, if I can say that if I am a regular employee and I was given let's say a 1 week leave, I don't have to think about my tax for 1 week. But it's different when you're on my end, because let's say I went on a vacation, I still think about the company, I still work because I can't really live. So that's basically the difference. So the responsibility is higher. Um, so it's like the pay is there, the pay is higher, but the responsibility is really high, and I think it will take a lot of mental strength to be into in this position. To be honest, it's not easy. So that's what I can say.
Agreed, because yeah, you're right. When you think about it, you have so many things to. Yes, you hand out the task to your employees, but because you have to hand out the task to your employees, you have to think that okay, they have to be able to do this within a certain deadline, and if they don't do this, will
Yeah,
cause problems. So I think I can understand
yeah,
where you're coming from. Yeah. So
yeah.
like
And it can cause problems, and all everything that will happen directly affects you. You know, and you have to shield your employees. It doesn't mean that they did bad on a task. Sila na yung sisisihin mo sa client. No, as a leader, you have to shield them still, because it's your responsibility why it happened. So things like that.
yes, but with challenges that come as being a CEO, there have to be highlights. Like there have to be like good things out of being a CEO.
Well,
Other than obviously the higher pay, what are the good things about
one
being like
one of the good things actually is um the this I'm more, how do I say this? I manage my own time. So I manage my own time. I can let's say I delegate some of the tasks, and then I can manage my own time freely. So although I mentioned earlier that even though I'm on a vacation, I still need to work at night. But still, if I wanted, if I wanted, I can go on a vacation and just bring my work with me. Something like that, which which is apparently hard for I think for regular employees. And one of the perks is the travel, because we of before the pandemic, we often travel. So because we often bring Bayani out to different conventions. So that's one of the perks that I have.
Yeah, regarding that, 'cause you've been around many different places regarding, especially for promoting Bayani. Yeah, I can tell nga, oh, wow, this man has been to many different places, like not just locally. That's really cool.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, regards to Bayani,
Mhm.
Bayani, like that is a game that you guys have been like promoting, and I can relatively saying, yeah, people know about it. People like, oh, the concept is really great because it's a Filipino cultured inspired fighting game.
Yes.
And regarding that, the full story can be like the full story behind how you decided to come up with Bayani. Will you care to explain the how you came up with Bayani to the people listening in right now?
Okay. Actually, um, the concept of Bayani, it was not mine. It was not mine. It was Anthony Dacayo. He was an artist. He was an artist who was inspired because of General Luna, the movie General Luna. So in the movie
Ooh.
General, one of the issues that I have arises on that movie is that I think a student asked Epicus a question why he's only sitting down throughout the movie. So apparently, Epicus is playing Apolinario Mabini, who have polio, di ba? It was really sad. Yeah, it was really sad that that student doesn't know that, and that actually became the inspiration why the characters of Bayani was created, because we we wanted we wanted Bayani to be another way for us to to make our history, to make our the millennials or the younger people to be interested in history again, or at least become more what do you call this, curious. Let's say you're using Joe, and then who's Joe based from, and they will start to like research. Also, that's one of the goal that we have is to make them to make the Filipinos curious enough. Not only Filipinos, but all the players are curious enough so they can try research and learn more about our history.
It's really interesting because like I like how you conceptualize how like the characters themselves are based off of Filipino historical figures like Joe as Rizal, Fernando, obviously Ferdinand Magellan. That's really nice. I'm also wondering this: why specifically a fighting game? Why that genre for Bayani?
Yeah.
You should have thought,
Okay.
but why fighting?
Yeah. Why a fighting game? Because a fighting game is imagine this: when you're playing a fighting game, you are more focused on the characters. Yeah,
Yes.
and you can be you can focus on well, not focus. What's the term? You can choose any character initially and be and try them all. Like let's say I make we make an RPG. Let's say we make an RPG, because before we can introduce some of the characters, it will take a while. Like, it will take a while through the story. But on a fighting game, you are more engaged on each character from the onset. So things like that. So basically, we wanted all the characters to be in the game, to be our main character, something like that. Yeah, do you get what I'm trying to say? So
Yeah.
with fighting game, lahat sila bida. Parang ganon. Diba?
Basically, with fighting game, you get to. It's like unlike an RPG, you have to wait time until you can develop until you introduce each one. Fighting game, already there. Yeah, go. They're all exposed, highly exposed to everyone in the game.
Yes. Thank you.
But I'm so curious about this. What fighting game specifically did Bayani draw inspiration from? Was there a specific inspiration that Bayani drew from? Its style, everything.
There's a lot actually. Actually, there's a lot. So the team plays a lot of different fighting games, and it translates to Bayani. So major influences are from anime fighters, so like Guilty Gear and stuff like, and Arxis games. So there's a lot of MVC inspiration as well, because of Ryan. Yeah. And then of course we cannot deny that Street Fighter has a huge influence in the game.
Exactly. Like the moment I saw the game, it's like, oh wow, it looks like Street Fighter. I think this is based on kind of like Street Fighter.
Yeah, the gameplay is like a mix of a Street Fighter and Arxis games, and that's because like I said, there's a lot of inspiration. The team plays a lot of fighting games, although not professionally, but to draw inspiration, because we had to like get to do our research. So Street Fighter is the, like I said, is the main, is the granddaddy of fighting game, right? Like so pretty much that's why most of the stuff that are happening in the game are mostly drawn from Street Fighter. And like for me, I started Street Fighter as my first fighting game. So basically yeah.
Wow. Well, okay, that's nice that your first fighting game was Street Fighter, and now you're incorporating it into your game, like a childhood dream for most people, and you were able to do it. That's really nice.
Yeah, and it's not easy. It's not easy actually. When we started Bayani way back 2016, we actually initially thought, because we are not pro in terms of fighting games, so the initial thought is that if you have two characters, put them together and give them moves and have them beat each other up, it's going to be a fighting game. Apparently, it's not. So the first version that we have for Bayani is like, wait, I can show you the first version we have. Can I screen share ba? Pwede ba mong screen share? Or is that possible?
I'm not exactly sure if.
Well, maybe.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so the first version that we have way back 2016, when we put it in demo in ESGS, one of the pro, because there's a lot of pro fighting game players during the event, so one of the pro played the game, so he sat down.
Sorry everyone, technical difficulty. Mr. Ben suddenly disconnected. Please give us
the fighting game.
Wait. Back. Mr. Ben, can you please repeat that, because apparently you disconnected for a few seconds. I don't know what happened.
So like it was 2016 during ESGS, one of the pro players in there tried Bayani. So he sat down, tried the game like for a few seconds or for a few minutes, I don't know. And then stood up again and told our dev that this is not Bayani. This is not a fighting game. So that blatant actually, and actually it's a huge what do you call this? It causes a huge explosion on our brain. This is not a fighting game. I thought we were developing a fighting game, but apparently this is not. So from 2016 So from 2016 up to 2019, we are doing R&D. So every year we are releasing a version, and we are having the community try it until we got the response that this is a fighting game. This is now a fighting game. So it was 2018, I think, that we I know. So it was ESGS 2019 that we finally got the response that what we have is a fighting game.
That's nice.
If I'm not mistaken, it's 2019 or 2018, something like that.
Before we continue, would you like to turn on your webcam again if you want to? Because the disconnection earlier cut off your mic and it cut off your webcam.
Video. Okay.
Thank you. And regarding 2018 or 2019, ESGS, right?
Yes.
So how did you finally got the response you wanted? Like, was there a specific response which told you, yes, this is exactly what we wanted to hear? What was it specifically? If you can remember.
One of the things that we believe that pushes that became a key for Bayani's for Bayani to become a fighting game is that when Filipino Champ went on board with us. So so he helped us with everything, all the technicalities of fighting game. So he tried the game. It was when the first time he saw the game, it was pretty bare. But he still believed that this game has potential because he's Filipino and he believed in the game. So it was really exciting because I never thought that he would at least look at the game, because we just tweet him. We don't know him. So we just tried contacting him, and he helped a lot. So one of the things is that happened that we feel that we are now making a real fighting game is that during REV Major, it was 2019 REV Major, we held a tournament, and the champion apparently doesn't know this, played Bayani first time during that event, and he played with some of the players in our community who was playing Bayani for a far longer time than him. So what that player has is the, what do you call this, the fundamentals. So when he played Bayani, he just used the fundamentals of fighting game, and he was able to win the whole tournament actually. So it's basically one of the things that tells us that what we are doing something right with our game, because if you have knowledge with Street Fighter and other fighting games, you can you can use that in Bayani and be able to play. When you start playing Bayani, you can actually start playing. Uy, ingay mo. Sorry about that.
Okay, but it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, we have the fundamentals. Of course, you can play Bayani really well. In regards to, obviously, like, you guys got the response you wanted. You guys were able to hold a successful tournament. In regards to Bayani's development cycle, too, like, remind me again, how many years has Bayani been under, and how many development cycling years has Bayani undergone?
Well, we haven't yet stopped. So it's been like from 2016 until now. So yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's from 2016. Like I said, from 2016 until late 2018, it was more like an R&D. I can say that now it is more as an R&D, because every year we scrap the version that we have. So yearly we redo everything. What's left are the assets. Only the assets are left, and we redo everything.
That's like a lot of work. Yearly
So
work.
it is a lot of work because we don't want Bayani to be labeled as just a fighting game that are based on Filipino heroes. We don't want it to be like that. We want Bayani to be a proper fighting game that people can appreciate and play, not only for casuals but also for pros. So so that is one of the thing that we wanted for this project.
That's true. Like it'll come to a point where yes, both pros, professionals, and casual players say yes, this is indeed a great fighting game. Also, speaking of updates, Leo, the character was inspired by Apolinario Mabini was released like 3 months ago. So when it comes to character development, like what is the process like from conceptualizing, developing for every character that you make in Bayani?
Okay, so like I mentioned, in terms of the concepts, all the characters are all conceptualized by Anthony Dacayo, the artist behind the Bayani, and we have the initial roster already planned. So what we have right now, we have already our last character is Rio, based on inspired by Apolinario Mabini. So our next character is Lolang Chora, inspired by Tandang Sora. So she's our next character. She's going to be our zoner. So our process. So our process is like our designer first before they have to first figure out the different move sets that are also that needs to be somehow to be related to the character themselves. So and then because we manually how can I say it's very technical because we what our designer did is that we have actually an Excel sheet with all the different moves in there, and then let's say I'm going to like check. It's going to be hard for me if it's going to be but
Basically.
Okay. I'm going to read my código na lang dito. So yeah. So when it comes to making characters, we have 3-step process. Diba? I have a código. I forgot. So so all of our characters concept designs are already done by Anthony Dacayo. So the first step is to make those into 3D, then change the things that look better or work better and work better in 3D. Actually, it's really difficult for us to translate some of the concepts into 3D. So there's a lot of iterations involved in there as well. So in creating the character itself, we draw first from the original concept design, like their weapons, original concept and abilities, and then that which are reference to the real life hero counterpart. For example, Joe is based on Jose Rizal, so he's a fencer. So he's a fencer and he throws books for us projectile. So no limitang here. Yeah. Next, we consider the kind of archetype. This is one of the hardest things to consider because depending on the archetype is the works going to be involved. So so wait, I'm going to just continue reading this. So So we consider the kind of archetype the character will be, and then draw references from that as well. So we combine the output from those three until we get a character that we're happy with. So step 3 is we collaborate with our battle director, which is FChamp, into to make sure that the character we made is balanced. And this is where we start tweaking the character to make them more playable. So so between steps 2 and 3, we go back we go back to steps 2 and then to 3 and have FChamp check everything until we are satisfied with the character. So like I mentioned that it also depends on the archetype, because for example, Joe is our Shoto character. So it took him, and the team took him like 2 months to develop him, to create Joe. But after Joe, we created Tonyo, and he is a grappler. So pretty much a very different archetype. So pretty much everything that we learned from Joe, we were not able to use them. We were not able to use them. So we started again. So and it took us like 3 months to create Tonyo, and and our designer do still need to like learn a lot of stuff in terms of grapplers, and it's really complicated because we can't make an overpowered grappler. It's really hard because whenever we add a character, all the characters move. So that's pretty much how it goes. And right now, I think the longest time, the character that took us the longest time is Rio. Rio took 4 months to develop because he have Anito. Yeah, he have Anito. Basically we are developing 2 characters at one time for Rio. So 4 months for 1 character. And Lolang Chora, our zoner, I think we are stepping into the 3rd month now. And it's and like our designer Robert is always telling me that it's this she is going to be the most painful to balance because she's a zoner. So
because you can't have her too powerful.
Yes,
we can.
We can have him too powerful. We can have her too weak, because no one will use her. Yeah. It's hard. This is a hard game that we are making.
Yeah, but given the fact that you've shared the development cycle for all your characters, it's pretty nice. Then other than that, since you've also showcased these characters to people from different events, what was it like? Like, what was your experience in showcasing them when in places like events like REV Major, Evo, or places like Gasar Busan, Korea?
Yeah, well, it was when I in Evo, it was the experience is you know what, I'm really when I was going to Evo, I was really nervous because I'm going to bring our fighting game there. So it's not like I'm going to Evo to visit. I'm going to represent the Philippines. Actually, at least I'm going to represent the Philippines with our product, and it's going to be at the biggest fighting game event in the world. And to be given the chance to have our game in there is we are very blessed. But I'm very scared from what the players are going to say on our game, because they are pros and they've been everyone have huge expectations, and so when I was actually setting up the first day at Evo, people are like looking at the game, so I barely talk to them because oh my god, I'm going to speak in English
Nervous.
and with all the nervousness and stuff like that. So, but when it was really surprising because when the event started and people are like started playing the game, like flocking into the game, they are enjoying it. Like they are enjoying it so much. Like some players are spending like an hour, 2 hours in the game. I'm not telling them to give way to other players. I let them enjoy. So and one of the feedback that I got from the game is now this man, this is awesome. Don't change anything. So just improve it, but don't change anything. So it's basically it's one of the highlights during that during that time on an Evo is to have some a pro playing fighting games in there tell us that. So it was really exciting because now I know that we are doing the right thing. We are on the correct path when it comes to the game that we are developing. And when I went to Evo, we only have I think four crackers during that time, and it was not as polished as this one that we have right now. So it was really amazing, and 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 another thing is the Filipino community. Well, actually, the Filipinos that was just passing by and they saw, oh, what's this Bayani? Parang Filipino to, something like that. And they approached and they were really surprised that we have a representation at Evo. They did not expect that there's a Filipino fighting game that's going to be in that event, and they are really happy, and it's like they are we a player actually drew up a flag like manually using a pen. She approached me and gave me like a small Philippine flag and told me post it in there so that more Filipinos can see your product, so they can instantly recognize that you're from the Philippines, and they are really happy. They are actually thanking me for creating the Bayani because some of them didn't grow up in the Philippines, so they don't have any info in terms of their culture, and they say that thank you for the representation. Thank you so much for the representation. And now we have something to look forward to. So things like that that is really warm in the heart, and not only because it's like something extra, like from the foreign the foreigners are loving the gameplay and the Filipinos are loving the representation, and I really feel that Bayani is doing both of those, and I'm really happy during that time, and with me being nervous and all, it's really well worth the trip, and I really want to go back there to showcase
Props to you guys for representing it. Yes, honestly, props to you guys for representing, using your game to represent Filipino culture, spreading to the world that we have a Filipino-based fighting game, and people played it, people enjoyed it. But we've received so much feedback from like events like Evo, right? Like Evo, REV Major, you received so much feedback, yes?
Yes.
How did you, based on all the feedback that you received, what did you do with them? Like, how did you apply them to Bayani? Like, how did you use them to make improvements or whatever?
Well, one example is that we have is like one player is like asking why we don't have what do you call it, instant air dash. So things
Yes.
like that. So why don't you have instant air dash? Because if you are an anime fighter, you should have that. So things like that, and we put that into the game, because if we can make it, if it's possible for us to make it, and that feature is really important to have. We put it we will put that into the game. So that's why, and that's basically Bayani is being molded by the community from all the feedback. Of course there are certain feedback that are also that are within our scope na, that is already in the roadmap. So nababangga na rin yung mga ganun, yung mga feedbacks na yon. But yung mga feedback na new to us, and that we believe naman na can really help us into improving the game. We of course we of course do them. There are also funny feedbacks like idadagdag nyo ba dyan si Cardo, or yung mga ganun na feedback like malalagay nyo ba yan ng mga manananggal. So yung mga ganun, yung mga feedback that na for comedic purposes na lang para sa team.
Well, yeah, that's good. You've used the feedback, and you got the feedback. You use it to develop the game. Speaking of the game, congratulations for holding the first online invitational tournament that included professional esports players. Regarding that, how was it? How was your experience running it and having professionals play it like in a tournament?
Yeah, it was because we don't have online yet, so we use Steam Play Together. I think it's Play Together. We use that to do to host the event. In terms of latency, the latency is pretty good. But the only problem is that there are certain we are still experiencing some disconnections, some technicalities, but all throughout the event, everything is good naman. So and I was really happy because the pro players are enjoying the game, and they are like because our first character, our latest character is Rio actually, and in most events the most used character is always Joe, because he is the easiest one to do, and he's our Shoto character. So I expect that in this tournament, Joe will be the most used as well. Apparently not. It was Rio who was used this time, and players are and the pro players are loving the character, and they are and they are like doing combos that I cannot do. So and doing stuff that pwede pala yon, things like that, and they're like asking na if please don't nerf Rio, and yung mga ganun feedback. I'm actually really excited to do that again, to do the online tournament again, and that's one of the things that I would like to discuss with you guys.
Oh, interesting. It was very interesting. And in the event, online tournament, Bayani online tournament, Orient, in the possibility that it happens, it'll be welcome.
Yeah, we can actually we are open actually in discussing this with you. So yeah, hopefully in the future we can work together and host a tournament. Although yeah, technical wise, Play Together is really good. But there are still some difficulties because unlike having an online, it's different if you have an online lobby. But yeah,
that's true. So,
but it's still very very playable.
that's great. But eventually, like you will develop like the online. Let's say eventually there will be an online lobby developed. But for now, like share to play, Steam share to play. Yes.
Yeah.
No, so for that, but eventually, yeah, it would be really great. The idea of another tournament and the possibility of working with Orient, and yeah, that actually sounds really great, honestly, because it's also a way to share with more people. Like Bayani is here, Filipino fighting game is here, and you guys can try it out if you want and play it. Yeah, it's a great way to share it with everyone.
Yeah.
But okay, so speaking of Filipino, what do you think personally? What do you think of the Philippine fighting game community? What do you think about it?
Well, right now, so because I'm really I'm just being immersed into the community, and I think right now it's getting more stronger with the advent of esports, with all the esports events happening right now. The community is going to be bigger in the future. So now we have Orient FGC, right? You establish Orient FGC, and your team is going to be bigger definitely in the future. I can definitely see that. So it's a really exciting time for esports right now, and for the fighting game community. Even though the pandemic happened,
Yes.
we can still play online, and we can still do events online. That it's not going to stop us. So
Mm.
and we can and the FGC is just going to be in the local FGC just going to continue growing. Actually, it's really going to be really really exciting because we can actually do let's say Orient FGC versus the FGC here in Manila and things like that.
Mm.
Those kinds of collaborations, right? So
If it,
it's an exciting, really really exciting time. And what I really love about the fighting game community, especially for Bayani, is because is the
mm.
love that they are showing for the game. The then and the support that they are giving us, because there's a lot of fighting games that they can play, but they still play Bayani. They still choose to play the game, even though we are the game's not yet done. And
Mm.
in terms of quality, I can't it can't be compared to those huge fighting games in the market, right? But still, it was still
Okay.
being supported,
Mm.
and that's why I'm really really happy that you have invited me to tonight, because I can share my story and also share Bayani to the viewers in Cebu. There's a question actually in the chat why Lapu Lapu is not present in Bayani.
That was also was also
Yeah,
going to bring up after like but yeah, why is Hapu-Lapu not in Bayani?
actually he
By
is.
Mr. Daryl.
Actually, Lapu Lapu is. Uh, we already have a concept for Lapu Lapu, and he will be added after the base characters have been developed. So we can only develop characters on a 2 month, 3 month, 4 month time. So it really take us a lot of time to develop characters. So but I assure you, Lapu Lapu is included, and he is an integral part of the lore of Bayani.
Filipino history. He is one of like the biggest names in terms of
Yeah.
Filipino figures. Can you give us like a hint on like maybe what you'll call Lapu-Lapu in the game, or no? You just want to keep it a secret lang.
Um, we call him Datu Lapu in the game.
Ooh, okay. But nothing else that no, you just gonna keep everything secret na
Well,
lang. No, nothing.
I can tell because we don't have any finality yet, because like I mentioned, our process is from the concept. We from there we started figuring out his moves and all. But if you wanted to check him out, the concept of Lapu Lapu, he is available on our website. Most of the character concepts are already in this in our website. You can check them all out. There's
Okay,
actually
that's really
around
cool.
40 characters, I think, character concepts. And if we if only we have the funding to develop all of them, why not? You know, why not?
Why not?
Because the concepts are really really good. And
The concepts are really nice. I've seen some of the character concept art in the official site for Bayani. It's like, wow, I like the the possibility of Lapu-Lapu going in. Like, yay!
Well, yeah, like I said, the Lapu-Lapu is definitely going to be into the game, just not now. But he is in our roadmap. So please don't
Because you have,
despair.
because yeah, you have Ferdinand Magellan in the game. If there's no Lapu-Lapu, who's he going
Who's
to
going to kill him, right?
fight? But regarding Bayani, you said like if you have big hopes for Bayani in the future, yes, like it's potential. There's potential in Bayani for becoming one of the best, at least a prominent fighting game in professional esports or whatever. Yes.
Yes, yes. To be honest, uh, we are not competing with the huge games there like Marvel versus Capcom, Street Fighter. Um, we what we wanted for Bayani is to be at least the number 3 or number 4 games of the fighting game players. That is our target.
That's good. Amazing.
But at least we really wanted, and at the very least, what we really wanted is for Bayani to be part of esports in the Philippines. Basically for Bayani to be a default game in every tournament. That is one of the dream because well, Bayani is a Filipino made fighting game, so it just makes sense, to have Bayani on tournaments. So, but before that happens, we have to work hard for it. We have to we Our team needs to make sure that the game is what do you call this? The quality of the game uh, fits what the players wanted, and also and also the quality of the game is something that you guys can also be proud of. We are proud of our game, but it's really hard for other people to be proud of it if we don't give our everything to it and make it into a high quality fighting game. I can't promise for it to be like Arc says. But we promise for Bayani uh, uh, to be of high quality. And that's what I can say.
Mm. That's really great. The fact that you guys have it in mind already. If you guys keep up with the passion you already have, and you keep up with the correct work mindset that you have now, it is possible in the future that yeah, we can see Bayani as one of the prominent fighting games in the Philippines. Like, if you think of Filipino fighting game, you think Bayani.
Yeah,
One of it is
yeah. That's the one of the dreams.
so is it okay? I want to mention like regards to characters one more time. I'd like to. Is it okay if I make? There's just one person who I know really wants to see a specific character or like a specific figure in the game. Is it possible to put someone like Santo Niño in Bayani? Is it possible? It's just throwing it out there.
I don't think we can. He's one thing is Santoni is not part of the roster, and I'm not sure if it would fit because Santonio is a religious figure. Uh, so yeah, so for me, I don't think it would fit. There's a game actually about that's based on.
Um, oh no. Um, one moment, guys. Okay, he's back. Never mind. There's a Serban. Can you please repeat that because you got cut off again?
Okay.
Because I don't know what happened. Disconnected.
Yeah. Discord just restarted for some reason. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think Santo Niño can be part of our roster, and I'm not sure if Santo Niño fits. This is actually the first time that it was mentioned. To be honest, So I'm not sure how to answer. I'm not sure how to answer safely. Yeah, I'm not sure. So I'm not sure, and it's difficult. It's difficult.
It's understandable. Religious figure, of course. You're not gonna put him in a fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. But okay.
Isip
So
tuloy ako.
before we go, is there anyone you'd like to shout out? Make any shout outs before we're finished?
Okay. First of all, I would like to shout out to the brains behind this game, to Anthony Dacayo. Thank you for conceptualizing this game. Without that brain of yours, Bayani will not happen. And also, I would like to shout out to the team whose blood and tears and sweat have all been poured into developing this game. And also to the local Philippine FGC. I would like to shout out to all you guys for supporting the game. This includes you Orient FGC. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And also there's a lot of people to thank actually because of the support. But all you guys, thank you so much. Filipino champ, thank you so much for the support as well, and also everyone, every Filipino out there. If you are supporting Bayani, thank you so much. And for all the Filipinos that's going to support us in the future, thank you so much, you guys.
Mr. Ben, no, thank you also for believing in Orient FGC, because you also believed in us for the fighting game community. But we also believe in you in regards to that. Yes, you can potentially make a game for a Filipino fighting game that represents the Philippines well. I'm sure that with more time, you guys will definitely be most likely the prominent fighting game. Bayani will be the most prominent fighting game in the Philippines.
Sana, hopefully. It's a dream that we have.
It could come true. Never know. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just humble like that,
Bitaw, thank you so much, Mr. Ben. It was really a great honor having you with us.
Thank you. I really enjoyed talking with you. Like I mentioned, I requested for it to be Taglish, but I really tried so hard to converse with you guys in straight English. So sorry to some of the viewers if you find my English a bit clunky.
Your English is good. I'm like, oh, nice. I was scared for a moment. Like, if he goes Tagalog, I will understand, but not so much. I will try. I will try my best. But your English is really good, so I'm like, yay! It was easy for me. Again, thank you so much, and to all the listeners, that's all the time we have. Once again, Mr. Ben, thank you so much for participating.
Thank you.
To the viewers, thank you. And to the viewers, also thank you for listening. And if you want to talk with us in the next podcast, please message us your name and topic now in Messenger. Also, remember that you can donate in the Association of Philippine Medical Colleges via the links in the comments below. I'll talk with you guys again in the next week for another Orient Weekly FGC episode.
Cool.
Bye, everyone, and stay safe, okay? Bye.
Bye-bye.